Enjoy the show.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode number 127 of Siriani Says Sports. Right now, we're on a bi-weekly basis, as you can tell, and we'll be on a bi-weekly basis for just a little bit longer. I'm almost done with boot camp, thank God. And by the time we're done with boot camp, we'll have the show back on a consistent Tuesday basis. That's what I'm hoping for. Because with boot camp and Friday nights, oh boy.
Maddie,
It's rough.
You're interfering with bar time, man. Come on.
Anyways, the bar time is great for Friday nights, but not really so much on a consistent basis. I'm Matt Siriani, and I'm not wearing the same shirt that I always wear on the show. And that's Ryan Barrington Jr., my buddy in crime. How you doing, Ryan?
Good work. Everyday life sucks. I'm getting used to it, but honestly, Maddie, the 2 weeks gap between the episodes it's a lot of sports talk. A lot of stuff happens. Football is so close, so close. I mean, the Hall of Fame game, Maddie, my Jets are playing in it, but I do it every year, Maddie, where I sit there and I watch fifth, sixth stringers sit there and I watch that whole damn game every year because I'm sick and I got nothing else to do.
Ryan's obsessed with preseason football.
Not preseason, just football. I love football.
Hey, listen, we all love football, and so does my right-hand man, Loro Antonio. How you doing, Loro?
Doing good, but Ryan, I don't like preseason football because I think it's just so boring for me to watch because I'm more of a person that just likes regular season football where I can see the starters play the entire time. But I know that we're going to talk about the NFC and AFC South, which are the weaker divisions in football, and I can't wait to tell you guys what my outlook is for both divisions, and then we'll go from there. So Matt, don't read that message. I just put it up there that way I can read it.
No problem. Okay, so anyway, like Lauro said, we're gonna go over our division predictions for the first time this season. We're gonna start off with the South. Then in our next episode, 2 weeks from now, we're gonna go to the North. Then in our next episode, we'll go out west. And then for the three of us, our sake, because we're all big AFC, NFC East fans, we're gonna go with the Eastern divisions. So let's start with the Southern Division predictions.
This is an every year tradition for me and you, Maddie. I don't know. I would love to know, Maddie, if I went back or you went back to see how right we kind of were from last year. Because
I gotta take a look. Usually I reflect on previous episodes. I gotta take a look.
We gotta go back around this time last year and see how well we did last year. I know I'll get flamed for one. I do remember, Maddie, when we did I remember we did one of them at Outback, right? Where we talked about the NFC.
Yes.
But I also, Maddie, hold it. Philly coming in front of Dallas. Hold it all the time. I will hold my L though with the Ravens and stuff because I was saying the Ravens were going to win the AFC North.
AFC North, yeah. You said the Ravens were going to win the AFC North.
I'll hold my L on that. I mean, Joe Burrow is just built different, but no, I love to see last year though how we did. Figure that out, and then this year, obviously, figure out how we do. But yeah, dude, we got some.
All right,
we got some mighty stacked divisions to talk about today.
Right. Here we go. Let's start off with the ice cold divisions first. So here's how this is going to work with the division predictions. Since Loro is new to this fairly, here's how it's going to go. We're going to go from last place to first place in each division and explain why we put that team in that position. And then when we get to the end of the year, we'll go through when we get to the end of preseason, we'll get to our wild card picks and also our playoff predictions for division winners. Well, actually, a division winner automatically gets a playoff spot. The 3 wild cards, that's something for another day.
Yeah, like the 4 division teams get automatically qualified, but you're talking about wild card teams for after the preseason.
That's correct. So, all right. So anyway, here's how this is gonna go. I'm gonna start off with the AFC South. The AFC South, a one-trick pony, but there's still 3 rookie quarterbacks that need to be placed somewhere. So here's how it's gonna go. Last place in the AFC South, I have being the Tennessee Titans.
Ooh.
And the reason why is because the Tennessee Titans are in a position now where, other than Derrick Henry, the rest of their offense is not really too amazing. I don't think they're going to get DeAndre Hopkins. Mike Vrabel's on a hot seat position. This Titan team is not as talented as it was in years past, and they're a far cry away from their 2019 team. So I think that the Titans are going to take a massive step back, and Mike Vrabel gets fired after the season's over. Third place in the AFC South, and why? This was a tough one, but I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. I think the Houston Texans upgraded a quarterback with C.J. Stroud. I like the passing combination that they just got acquired through the draft. I think that now that they got a better coach who loves the Houston area and is willing to help this Houston culture win, I think they're going to take a step forward. I don't think they're going to be ready to compete just yet, but I think they're going to take a massive step forward for their standard. Second place in the AFC South, and why this is an easy one, I got to go with the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson was a massive success at the Combine. I think that Shane Steichen got his Jalen Hurts in the draft. I think we're going to see Anthony Richardson be explosive this in his rookie year in the NFL. But I think that the Colts are not going to really go far as chasing the playoff spot. I think the Colts are going to be like a 7-10, 8-9 team, but nowhere near playoff contention. But I think they're a solid second place, which means obviously first place is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're getting Calvin Ridley back, year 3 of Trevor Lawrence, and year 2 with Doug Peterson. I think that this offense is going to be explosive to watch. I think that they're going to win the division games by a landslide. I think they're going to really trample their division opponents, which is a big plus for winning a division title. I also like the fact that their defense upgraded in some way, shape, or form last year. I think they're going to take that momentum from last year and transfer it this year defensively. And I think they're one of the better coach teams in the AFC South. So now, that's how it's going to go. Because Ryan's more experienced at this with Loro, I'm going to leave you hanging for a second. Ryan, last place in the AFC South, and why?
Houston Texans. The roster is not good. This is probably another rebuild year for them. Usually, I think they're a team right now. They took their rookie quarterback, obviously, in CJ Stroud. I think they're going to give him this year one to develop because, I mean, their number one receiver right now is probably Robert Woods, who is very aging. Nico Collins is not that great. I know they had Dalton Schultz, but their team's not great. Their defense, yeah, they just traded up for Will Anderson, but I don't think that solves all their defensive problems. So I got the Houston Texans. And last, third, I got the Titans. Kind of like to what you said, Matt. I think between their 3 quarterbacks, Ryan Tannehill, not Ryan Tannehill. Oh my God. Will Levis and Will Levis and then Malik Willis. Sorry, those names just combined in my head. I almost said Malik Levis. Sorry. Yeah, between those two, I mean, Malik wasn't that great last year in the games we saw him start, which is why they took Will Levis in the draft this year. But again, another rookie quarterback. I just think they're going to be better than the Texans because their roster is built a little bit better. Offensively, still Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry, right? And then Traylon Burks, I think, is an okay number 2 receiver. I mean, he's not great, but I think their defense still, Mike Vrabel's always had that team pretty good defensively. I know secondary-wise, they're still really good. Linebacker-wise, they're still pretty good. And then, obviously, pass rush-wise, they're really good. So I think that they'll barely edge out the Texans just due to defensive talent. So that's why I got them in third. In second, I'm going to agree with you, Matt. I'm going to have the Indianapolis Colts in second. Anthony Richardson, I don't think it's going to have the year we saw Jalen Hurts just have in his rookie year. I don't think that because I think this Colts team is not as good as that Eagles team is. But I think offensively, Michael Pittman Jr. going into year 4 is probably cemented himself as a number 1 receiver. Defensively, that team is going to be really good. Obviously, Shaq Leonard's coming back next year, so I think their leader on defense is coming back, and I think they're going to be good. Like you said, Matt, I don't think they're going to sniff the playoffs this year because the AC is just stacked. Mm-hmm. But I do think they'll be kind of hovering around 6-7 wins, I think. And then obviously first place for me, right, Jacksonville Jaguars. Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence, they've turned out to be, from one year, a pretty good quarterback head coach combination. Unfortunately, Jeff fans, it sucks watching this guy, but between them acquiring Calvin Ridley and then Christian Kirk last year and then Evan Ingram coming back and then Travis Etienne and then that defense with Trayvon Walker and then just all the pieces that they added, I think they're going to be good. And I got the Jacksonville Jaguars winning the AFC South.
Okay, Loro, pressure's on. Last place in the AFC South and why?
I'm going with, like Ryan, the Houston Texans. Although I do like this young roster with C.J. Stroud and what D'Amico Ryans is doing, the Texans, I need to be a little bit more patient with them. Although that things are trending in the right direction for the Houston Texans, but they're going to be in last place. But I see them being 7-11 or 8-9. So I see them heading in the right direction, but they're going to be in last place. In third place, I got the Indianapolis Colts. Although I do like Anthony Richardson, but and then also I think this Colts team might be Shane Steichen is still not yet experienced yet, but he might prove me wrong. So that's why I have the Colts in third, and I know that the AFC South is wide open, and I do think the Colts will have a really good season, but I just don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think that you're going to see a much improved offense with Shane Steichen, and then you're going to have a really, really good defense still. And the Colts offensive line is going to be really, really good for Anthony Richardson. And I know that Jonathan Taylor is going to really help in the running game. And then in second place, I got the Tennessee Titans, but I'm hoping and I am optimistic that Mike Vrabel doesn't start Ryan Tannehill week 1. If he starts Will Levis, then I think the Titans would be in a better spot with Will Levis, a quarterback. That way he can learn and grow in this offensive system, and then he can just hand the ball off to Derrick Henry, throw the ball to Traylon Burks. I think the Titans will have a better offense with Will Levis under center. And then obviously I go with the Jacksonville Jaguars because I think Doug Peterson has done a great job turning around this football team from a laughingstock to a football team that is ready to compete in the AFC, and that's going to compete for Super Bowls. And Trevor Lawrence, he is a generational talent, and I do expect Trevor Lawrence to have a really good year 3. And I think that the Jaguars are going to I think they're going to be the 4 seed in the AFC. No spoilers, no mean to have spoilers. I just think that Jacksonville is just not as good as Buffalo or Cincinnati or Kansas City.
Okay. All right. So we all have Jacksonville winning the division. That's no surprise. You guys are a little bit more generous to the Titans than I was.
No, I was generous with the Titans because I feel like that if Ryan Tannehill doesn't start, then I think the Titans would be in a better position.
I'll just tell you, Malik is not him. Ryan Tannehill is not him. They need Will Levis to be him if they're going to be competitive this year. Because offensively, they ain't great.
No. All right, now for the NFC South. Now we're going to go backwards.
Powerhouse.
The powerhouse, that's the NFC South. All right, Loro, last place in the NFC South, and why?
I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons. Although I do think that they're not going to be the worst team in the league, which I don't expect. I do think the Atlanta Falcons are going to get better with their rebuild. And I do think that the front office is still very patient with Arthur Smith, but the Falcons are not going to be as bad as the Raiders or something like that. I do think that this offense is going to be fun to watch with Desmond Ridder, who I really can't wait to see him grow into a franchise quarterback. And you got Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. You have an explosive young offense there, but I do think that the Falcons are going to run into really good defenses, which I think the Falcons will still have somewhat of a losing record. In third place, I got the Tampa Bay Bucks, but I have Kyle Trask starting the quarterback. But if Kyle Trask can lead the Bucks to at least a manageable 8-9 record, then I think this might be. Then people may think, oh, the Bucks are going to be. They may be off the Caleb Williams draft sweepstakes because I think the Bucks believe in Kyle Trask. In second place, I got the New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints. I mean, this is a wide open division. I've seen predictions that the Saints could win the South, and I don't really buy into that because Dennis Allen is not that good of a coach. But the only way I think the Saints win the division is because if Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara rack up points for this offense, and also Michael Thomas too. But I'm just not really buying into this Saints team with Carr and Kamara. Because I think that this roster is very old. They have some of the guys that played under Peyton that are still part of this team. But the Saints, I'm not saying they're going to be really, really bad, but they're just not that great. They just don't really attract me with this roster that they have with Dennis Allen. I do like Derek Carr. I mean, I think Derek Carr gets undervalued, but I just don't think the Saints are just my cup of tea. Okay. But my division winner in the NFC South is the Carolina Panthers because Frank Reich is going to come in with a new mindset I mean, he's going to do things that Matt Rule could not do with Carolina, is develop a quarterback. And he has Bryce Young under center, but Andy Dalton is going to be a good serviceable backup just in case if Bryce Young gets hurt. But all in all, I do think Bryce Young is going to come in. He's going to ball out in his rookie season at quarterback, although he doesn't have that good of weapons yet. But I do think this is going to be somewhat of a learning, developing year. But I do think in the near future, you're going to see the Panthers get more weapons for Bryce Young. And I think their defense is underrated. And I do think Frank Reich is going to play a vital role in getting the Carolina Panthers back on track.
And remember that Panthers team almost won the division last year. Now you got a new quarterback. Let's see how it goes. All right, Ryan, last place in the NFC South and why?
Look at this guy with his Alabama fanboy. And Laura, I respect it. But in last place, Maddie, I got the leading candidate in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This team is, they ain't great. Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, they're pretty good, right? But the rest of that team, Todd Bowles is your coach. If there's a team, Maddie, that's not named the Arizona Cardinals that is front and center for Caleb Williams, it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that they are going to be in last. And it's not going to be close.
Okay.
In third, I had to think about this. I did have to think about this. And I'm going to give it to the Atlanta Falcons. Because I do not think that coach, and the reason I went back and forth on this is the coach quarterback kind of controversy. And I think that Arthur Smith and Desmond Ridder are not going to be as good as Frank Reich and Bryce Young. Just to that effort, I do think the Atlanta Falcons will be good because I think, like kind of Lorel kind of hinted at, between Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, they got a young offense. They got a young, fun, explosive offense. Defensively, they still got A.J. Terrell, who's a very underrated corner in the NFL, a very sneaky number one underrated corner. But I just don't think this year, at least, they're going to be competing. I think maybe give them a year. I think then they have a real shot to contend for this division, but I think they're just too young right now. Which leads me to the Carolina Panthers, who will be in second, because I do think Bryce Young was the most pro-ready quarterback coming out in this draft. I did like him the most, as a lot of you kind of knew. I do think Frank Reich is a really good head coach and a really good at developing quarterbacks. I just think he got stuck in a bad situation in Indianapolis where he went through veteran after veteran after veteran. That was kind of at the tail end of their career. And now that he has a guy like Bryce Young, because we saw what he did in Philadelphia with Carson Wentz and then with Jalen Hurts. Well, not Jalen Hurts, sorry, with Carson Wentz, with Doug Peterson in Philly. And then now we see him with Bryce Young. I think there's a real shot that this kid can be really good. Offensively, I think Adam Thielen definitely helps them. And I think that Jonathan Mingo, their wide receiver that they drafted in the second round, I liked him a lot coming out of Ole Miss this year. I think those two are going to be something special. I just don't know defensively if they're going to be able to hold teams. Which leads me to my number one team. And Laura, I got a quick question for you there, buddy.
Laura?
Yeah.
What do you want? Because I want some of it. I want some of that. I want some of that Laura pack.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I want some of that, my guy. Because damn, you got the Saints in third.
Saints in second.
Or Saints in second. Sorry. But like you got them better. You got them worse than the Panthers. Come on. You don't believe in Dennis Allen?
I was saying because I don't think Dennis Allen is that good of a head coach.
I don't think he is either. But I think that team is by far and away better than any other team in this division. Come on, dude. Between Alvin Kamara, between Chris Olave, Michael Thomas will be hurt again, right? So we didn't count him, right? But offensively, you got Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara, right? A by far and away better quarterback than I had last year, right? Because don't give me any of that Andy Dalton stuff last. Don't give me that. And then defensively, still Cam Jordan, still a top edge rusher in the league. Marshall Lattimore, still a top corner in the league. Demario Davis, still a top middle linebacker in the league. Like, they have the best roster in this division, and if they don't win it, I think it's going to be criminal, because I think that's why Derek Carr went there. Because remember, Derek Carr could have went to any of these teams. They were all in on him. The Bucs were in on him. The Falcons were in on him. And the Saints were in on him. So he could have went to any of the other two teams. He chose the Saints for a reason, and I think it's because they had the best roster.
Yeah, and it's because of Dennis Allen, who was his first head coach with the Raiders. So that's why he is all right. He is a Saint, but I could see it this way, Ryan. Like, I could see if the Saints win the division, I could see Carolina. I could see Carolina getting a wild card spot, and probably you're going to have to knock out Dallas out of it.
Possible.
NFC, if they were to get it, the NFC is where they would be, but I don't want to get into that conversation yet.
Look,
because
the NFC is weak as heck.
Everyone except the
wild card
NFC
spots are going to be up for grabs. We already know who's going to win. Who's going to be the top two in the NFC? It's the Eagles and the 49ers.
And we know who's going to be in the bottom two in the NFC. Well, the bottom three in the NFC.
Yeah, for
the Cardinals, the Commanders, the Bucs, the front runners for Caleb Williams. Set up for the NFC. Banish him.
All right. Here we go. Now it's my turn. Last place in the NFC South, and why I had to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Good man.
Post Tom Brady era, not going to be good. Godwin's probably going to be gone after the season. Evans is probably going to want out. Running backs, if you lose Leonard Fournette and you have nothing really going for you offensively. Defensively, you lost a couple guys and they're getting older. It's just not going to be pleasant in Tampa Bay. Hey, Tampa Bay, the Bucs are not going to shine. Third place, I got the Atlanta Falcons. I agree with the both of you. I think that this Falcons team is a very, very young, exciting team when you put the roster together, but I feel like they still need some time under their belt to really get their bearings back and compete. I think they're going to be a fun 6-win, 7-win team, but I don't think they're going to really compete for the NFC South title. Now, this was the toughest part.
Yep.
Second and first.
Don't do it.
Second place.
Don't do it. It's hard.
Second place, I have the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, you did it.
The reason why is because I'm really concerned about Alvin Kamara. He was supposed to get suspended last year, and he didn't get suspended. Something's going to come down on him. Michael Thomas has just regressed. The Saints, yeah, they got Derek Carr, but I'm not a big fan of Dennis Allen as the head coach. Yes, they have a good defense with Cameron Jordan leading the way, but I'm not really too sold on the roster as a whole. And plus, if you're talking about preparing a veteran quarterback, Dennis Allen might not be the best fit. So yes, I have the Carolina Panthers in first place. And it's more than just Bryce Young. It's the fact that Frank Reich's been given many old studs at quarterback, and they've had very little degrees of success. And I can name each one. Andrew Luck, Jacoby Brissett, Philip Rivers.
Whoa. I will not stand here and let you. No. I will not stand here and let you disrespect Andrew Luck like that. You will not come on here, Maddie, and say Andrew Luck is an old stuff. I will not. No.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Andrew Luck was a good quarterback that just had a lot of injury problems.
Start after Andrew Luck. I will not let you disrespect him like that.
Brissett, Philip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan. None of them did well. Okay, well, Philip Rivers took them to the playoffs in 2020, but then they were eliminated and Rivers retired the next season. Hence why they got Carson Wentz. So you look at that, and they also had to rely on Nick Foles and Sam Ehlinger last year. The Colts were just a disaster at quarterback last year, but that was not Frank Reich's fault. He was just dealt a bad hand in Indianapolis. When Bryce Young comes into the league, we're going to see him put the league on notice because we're seeing his style of game never before seen. So this is actually going to be something that Frank Reich is going to have to utilize. I also like the Panthers defensively. I think defensively they're fine. They got Raheem Blackshear in their backfield. I know they got Miles Sanders too, but Miles Sanders is going to be their backup at best. They got Adam Thielen, who, yes, is aging, but he could be an okay piece for Bryce Young to utilize. Like Literal said, I'm not a big fan of the team around Bryce Young, but Bryce Young could somehow make it work with his athletic ability. And on top of that, you got to look at the fact that this division is so bad from top to bottom that even a rookie quarterback, which we've seen before time after time, a rookie quarterback has taken his team to the playoffs before. Frank Reich's a great coach. If you had to come down to the head coaches, Frank Reich is the best of them all. Todd Bowles, no. Arthur Smith, no. Dennis Allen hasn't established himself. Frank Reich's the guy in that division, coach-wise.
Can I argue the two of you on this really quick?
Go ahead.
Why do you guys think the Saints are not as good as Carolina? Just I know, Maddie, you hinted on Alvin Kamara. Do you know who their second running back is? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, Mark Ingram.
No. Who they signed a free agency?
Oh yeah, they got Jamal Williams,
the leading touchdown scorer last year, right? So, it's just all right. Why else do you not think that they're better than Carolina? I'm just asking.
Because I just think that head-to-head, I've seen the Panthers beat the Saints in head-to-head matchups, and I think that when it ultimately comes head-to-head, especially in Carolina, I think the Saints might crumble in those situations.
Okay, I know you also heard that Dennis Allen can't prepare Derek Carr for a week-to-week offense, right? Do you remember, Matt, who Derek Carr's coach was in 2021?
It was John Gruden.
And then who?
And then Rich Bisaccia.
So don't give me that they can't prepare Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a veteran in the NFL. He can figure it out. Don't give me that. So I respect the two of you for being in the Bryce Young hype. I get it. I get it. Let me just remind you, Maddie. Was he? I'm not gonna actually. You know what? I'm gonna go there. Was Bryce Young as hyped his last year in college as Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow?
No, he wasn't.
Was he as hyped as Trevor Lawrence?
No.
We are expecting, and I'm not saying that you guys are wrong. You guys are expecting, Bryce Young to come out and perform like Joe Burrow did before the injury. Justin Herbert did his rookie, where he very well could. But just remember, I'm not throwing it in his face, but the measurables, right? He is a smaller guy. They don't know how he's going to adapt to the NFL. And then just remember, as much as you want to hate on Dennis Allen and Todd Bowles, they are very good defensive coordinators. And this is a rookie quarterback, right? So Frank Reich can do a lot. He can't tell him exactly where to throw the ball while he's on the field. So these are good defensive coordinators that I think can get in the heads of a rookie quarterback like Bryce Young and to kind of throw him off guard. So I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm just saying I would put more trust in the 30-year-old veteran in Derek Carr than I would in Bryce Young as a rookie, even though he has Frank Reich. That's just me personally. Because I think roster-wise, I think the Saints are better, but that's a different story.
We'll see what happens when we get to the North. All right, so in 2 weeks, we will do the Northern divisions. That's the NFC North and the AFC North divisions. Will Ryan be wrong about the AFC North again?
No. I'm sorry, Joe Burrow. I gotta, you know what it is, buddy? I gotta get memes on my laptop. I gotta get the Shaq meme. I'm sorry, I didn't. What is it? I underestimated, or what is that? I didn't know your game. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
What's the Shaq one? It's I didn't know.
I forget. It's.
You know what I'm talking about?
Blank.
But the Shaq one on NBA Countdown. That's the meme that I gotta just have that. Me to Joe Burrow. I wasn't familiar with their game.
All right. So anyway. I skipped this out on the agenda, but we're going to go through this really, really quickly because it's a really important topic. The All-Star break is coming, and with the All-Star break coming, it also means the Home Run Derby is coming as well. So, let me just reveal the 8 participants from 1, 8, 4, 5, 3, 6, and 2, 7. So, the matchups in the Home Run Derby. Luis Robert Jr. of the Chicago White Sox will take on Adley Rutschman in the first round of the quarterfinals. Then we got Adolis Garcia and Randy Arozarena in the 4-5 matchup. Then we got Mookie Betts versus Vlad Guerrero Jr. in the 3-6 matchup. And then the staple of the Home Run Derby, Pete Alonso and Julio Rodriguez is the 2-7 matchup.
They gave Julio Rodriguez 7? What?
Yeah.
Yikes.
So, if I had to ask the both of you who's going to win the Home Run Derby, based on who I just said, who's going to win? Laura, I'm going to start with you.
I'm going with Mookie Betts. I think Mookie Betts has had his best season, swinging the bat. He's fully healthy, and whatever position he plays, whether it's right field or second base, he's a guy that just produces. He just gets it done.
But can he hit the long ball?
He could hit the long ball. That's what I think.
Where's the All-Star game? Like, where's the home
It's
run
in
derby
Seattle.
site?
It's in Seattle.
It is in Seattle. Interesting.
All right. Ryan, who's winning the home run derby?
You would think that the hometown guy, Mr. Julio Rodriguez, would win, but he's not. It's going to be Mr. Vlad Guerrero Jr. This guy, you talk about a home run hitter. I mean, my God, right? Vlad Jr., like, he's up there with Judge, with Stan as, like, some of the furthest home runs I've ever seen hit, right, in the modern era of baseball. This guy, it just cracks it. And yeah, Pete Alonso and stuff. I still don't think Pete Alonso's fully healthy, right? So that's why I'm not having him win, because I still think he's kind of messed up from with his hands when he originally got that injury. So I think a fully healthy Vlad Guerrero Jr. is going to end up taking this thing. But I would like to see the hometown guy and J-Rod go pretty far. But I don't know if he's getting past Pete Alonso round one.
All right. Now, my home run derby pick is going to be described in one pose.
Uh-huh.
Do you know who I'm referring to?
Who would that be?
Randy Rosarena.
Yeah,
I'm going with a sleeper. I'm going with a sleeper here. I think Randy Rosarena can definitely. He's got a whole place in his own in Tampa Bay called Randy Land, and Buck and Ray fans are finally coming in. But like Randy Rosarena provides a spark, and he really can hit the ball deep. And I know Seattle, it's not quite. Well, it's the Pacific Northwest, so you're really trying to. Well, there's no altitude or anything. It's not like Colorado where the balls can just travel.
But I think they're gonna have the dome closed, which does help up hitters a lot.
Yeah, if they have the dome closed, and I favor Randy Rosarena because the Rays play in a dome, so I really like those odds. And also, like, look at this bracket right here. Okay, so if he gets past Adolis Garcia, he'd face Rutschman or Luis Robert Jr., both of which are fairly young to this, and then he'd have to face either Betts, Guerrero, Alonso, or Rodriguez in the finals if he gets past.
Here's a question too now. Which way does Adley Rutschman bat?
Adley Rutschman's a righty.
He's a switch hitter though, but
he's a switch, but he mostly bats right for the most part.
I thought he was gonna bat righty, right? I think he's gonna bat righty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I think Luis Robert's gonna win. Like beat at least Adley Rutschman. I don't know, dude. I feel like he gets a lot of high. I haven't seen Adley Rutschman really hit like bombs. Like I've seen Luis Robert over like the last 2 months. Like he's been hitting, dude. He's been hitting some home runs.
Yeah, Luis Robert's really good. I guess that's why he's the number one seed. It's unfortunate because I think Shohei Ohtani would have been the one seed had he not gotten hurt, which we'll get into in just a second. But yeah, so I have Randy Rosarena. Ryan Jr. has Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Loro has Mookie Betts. Those are our picks. So now we're going to get into some Major League Baseball news, and then we're going to go do our picks based on the picks for the late slate, which is what Ryan and I started last episode. But anyway, here is what we got here as far as baseball news is concerned. The Diamondbacks lose Corbin Carroll to injury, a right shoulder injury. He will be out for an unforeseeable amount of time. The Dodgers are within a half game, Loro, of taking first place in the NL West.
Yeah, they got it now.
Yeah, they got this locked and loaded now. And the Dodgers are playing the rail at the right time. Loro, you and I talked about this a little bit earlier. How devastating is this for the Diamondbacks?
I think it's devastating, but I feel like that the Diamondbacks have enough to overcome this. But Corbin Carroll, I think, is a guy that I think has a bright future with this team. But losing him at the wrong time, at this time, really hurts the Diamondbacks in a way. Like, how are they going to navigate through this stretch run?
Yeah, that's a good point. Ryan, you and I were high on Corbin Carroll this year. What do you make of this?
I mean, he was going to win Rookie of the Year. He still probably will, right? Even with the injury, right? But I mean, unless Ellie has something to say about that. But,
yeah.
But I do think that this is a detriment because say what you will, he is their best player, like undoubtedly. Like you can say Gurriel, you can say a bunch of other people, but he was the heart and soul of their team as a rookie, which is pretty insane when you think about it. I mean, you could say the same thing for Ellie De La Cruz, but I think that in terms of the NL West, I think the Dodgers on paper in most positions, especially pitching, right? With the way how Clayton Kershaw just doesn't seem like he wants to lose anything anymore, the way Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander have, which, I mean, credit to him. And then just that whole Dodgers pitching staff. And then I think the way Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Will Smith, their big three, right, are hitting, I do think the Dodgers are poised to take first place away. But, Laura, I damn well know you got a little nervous, dude. I don't think there's any way in hell, dude, going into the All-Star break that you thought the Dodgers wouldn't be above by like 5 games in first place right now.
Well, I mean, the Dodgers have injuries right now, but, I think that if you look at it, I think the Dodgers are peaking right now.
Oh, they are definitely peaking, but
peaking at the right time. Peaking at the right time. All right. So Corbin Carroll would have been Rookie of the Year had this not happened and had Ellie De La Cruz not existed. I really feel like
that dude is insane. That dude is
nuts.
insane.
Laura and I were talking about him before the show.
If I'm the Marlins, I'm like, what the hell happened to your brother? Why are you not him? If I'm the Marlins, be like, what happened? Why is this guy like God? But like, and like, there's been, I saw this thing on Twitter too, dude, with like brothers and fathers and sons. Yeah. Usually, right, the son or the younger one is always better than the older one. Oh, every time. And like the only times you can make the argument where it's not, right, is like you say Vlad Jr., Vlad Sr., right? Vlad Sr. was insane, right? You think of like a bunch of other ones, right? But a
Ken
lot
Griffey
of
Jr.
Well, yeah, both the Griffeys were insane. Ken Griffey Sr. was insane too, though. Like, but like, a lot of like times, like the younger one is always better than the older one. And like it works with this too. Like, I forget all the names that it was on there, but it's like insane how many like younger brothers or sons like that had older brothers or parents play that are just better. And I'm like, how is that possible? The same thing with Ellie De La Cruz, how one guy is carrying one team. It's insane.
One team, one city. But, Corbin Carroll, the Dodgers are going to probably take first place in the division heading into the All-Star break. And it's hard to say when you consider that the Diamondbacks had a 5-game lead in the division at one point. It was looking like they were going to run away with it. But then they collapsed against the Mets.
That was bad.
That was a bad collapse against the Mets.
The eighth inning game, that one was awful. That was hard to watch.
Mm-hmm. So there was that. Then there was the fact that they just lost their mojo. They just lost it. But now you lose your best player. It's a bad thing. And the Diamondbacks were a team that I was really looking forward to seeing play postseason baseball. But now we have a whole half a season left to play. I don't know how long Corbin Carroll is going to be out for with a right shoulder injury. Right shoulders are tricky because as someone who's suffered a shoulder injury in the past, you got to be careful. And it's unfortunate, but again.
Did they say contusion or was it? I thought they said a shoulder contusion he has, right?
It's a contusion. Yeah. But shoulder injuries in general are just hard to predict.
They suck.
Yeah. All right. Next on the news list, we got the New York Yankees split with the Baltimore Orioles after winning the first 2 games of the series. They're now tied with the Toronto Blue Jays for the 3rd wild card spot. But on the bright side, Yankee fans, Carlos Rodon's making his Yankee debut tonight.
You already gave up 1 run, so.
Oh, wow, my God.
1 run in 4 innings, so.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Can we just skip, please?
Yeah, we'll skip that. Anyway, Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani are banged up. The Angels are 45 and 44.
Blow it up.
Laura, I think we might get Shohei Ohtani sooner than you expected.
Blow it up.
Look, I don't think the Angels are going to trade him at the deadline. I think the Dodgers are waiting to sign him this offseason.
Oh, exactly.
That's a good way to put it. But
I agree. I was going to say that I think that the Angels should try and blow it up. They should try and trade Ohtani because, like...
But I don't think they should, Ryan, because I think that, like, look, Trout's hurt. You're not going to have him for a while. You probably need to keep Ohtani around. That way, when August comes, the Angels could still make a run at this.
Come on. Do you even if the Angels do make the playoffs, right, are they really a threat to the Rangers?
No.
To the Astros?
No.
But I'm saying you're saying a run, but like what? You make a run to the playoffs? Oh, whoop-de-doo, we made the playoffs, but by Ohtani, he just leaves. Like why would you not try to get like players now? Because I'm not going to lie to you, Lauro, I think there would be a team that would give up players, not to the caliber that they would for Ohtani if he re-signed. But I think, dude, there's a lot of teams out there in the MLB right now that would give up players to rent Ohtani for 5 months, just to rent them. If even if they knew he was going to leave, but if you could tell me right now, I can get Ohtani, win a World Series, and he walks. I mean, I it would suck, right? But I'd accept it because, like, think about it, dude. Like, if a team gets him in a playoff race, right? He is an ace and a top 5 hitter in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who wouldn't take a chance on that just to rent the guy? I mean, we saw the Cubs do the same thing. Remember when they traded for with the Yankees when they traded for Aroldis Chapman for literally like a month,
right?
And then he just left them and right back to the Yankees. Like, teams do this, like where they take risks. The only thing is with a guy like Ohtani, I don't know how much like they're going to be willing to give up for a rental because I know the Angels are going to want like a lot, which they should.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think it's worth it, dude, for them to make a run. Be like, oh, whoop-de-doo, we made the wild card. We lost to like the Blue Jays in 3. Like, I don't think that's worth it because I think he's walking in free agency no matter what. Because I don't think there's anything the Angels can tell him to make him stay. Because Rendon's hurt again. Trout's hurt again. Like, there's nothing that they can convince him with because their 2 other best players are never on the field. So I think Ohtani's gone. But I would definitely, if I was the Angels trying to blow it up, I would definitely try to trade Ohtani.
I think the offseason in 2024 is going to be very, very not productive for the Angels. It's probably going to be detrimental for them. I can honestly see a world where Ohtani goes to the Dodgers, like Laurel says. I honestly see, I don't know. Well, Mike Trout's on that ridiculous contract, so I don't know how.
Mike Trout and Rendon are going nowhere. They're stuck.
Those 2 are stuck there. They're handcuffed.
Those they're not handcuffed. Those 2 are fine, Maddie. They're on their pension. They're on their retirement checks. They're chill. Don't give me stuck. Anthony Rendon knew exactly what he was doing when he went there. He wanted to live in LA. He won his World Series. He's like, oh, I'm living in LA. I'm getting the bat from the Angels. This is going to be great. I don't got to try. Like, dude, Mike Trout, and respect to Mike Trout because he does try all the time. Like,
he does.
Rendon, dude, is like halfway out the door already. Dude, that guy's like halfway to Cancun already.
And he's fragile. He's really, really fragile.
Oh, he doesn't, dude. Anthony Rendon, like, doesn't care.
All right, Laura, what will the Angels do in the 2024 offseason?
Probably let go of Ohtani to the Dodgers.
Pain.
Just ridiculous. And Ohtani did say he wants to stay on the West Coast, which I don't blame him. But
no, I wouldn't either. I mean, the only way Ohtani ever comes to like the East Coast is if Hal Steinbrenner or even scarier, Steve Cohen goes, how much? Because there is a world where Steve Cohen will look Ohtani dead in the face and be like, how much? Name your price. Dude, I'm not going to lie. I really think Ohtani may get $800 million this year. He really damn well might.
He might get something ridiculous. I wouldn't be surprised if he threw him $1 billion.
Dude, I saw that there was like the contract for Ohtani, they said was 10 years, $800 million. That is absurd. But like they were saying, like Ohtani the pitcher deserves a 10-year, $45 million contract, right? Ohtani the hitter deserves a 12-year, like $40 million. I was like, Jesus Christ! And I'm like, if you combine that, $75 million a year, right? If you average the years, 11, 10 years, it's basically 10 years, 11 years, $800 million.
Pretty much.
Insane. And like the best part is the man deserves. Like, dude, it's actually insane. Like, it's insane.
He's unbelievable.
He is the modern day Babe Ruth. He really is.
No, he is. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. And had he not gotten injured, he probably would have on pace to kill everyone else in the American League MVP race.
He could have won the Triple Crown this year if it was, for Luis Arraez. But
Luis Arraez, yeah. Luis Arraez.
Ohtani literally is like leading the league in home runs, RBIs, like everything except for batting average, and he's like 100 points behind because this guy wants to hit 390. Like,
it's insane. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude the show, we got one more segment for promotion, and this is the segment that Ryan and I started on the last episode. It's the baseball late slate picks. The way this works is we're going to pick the games from the 8-10 slate to the 10-40 slate based on the following categories. We're going to pick them based on the money line, on the overs and unders, and that's how it goes. So, Ryan, I watched your video back, and you didn't do too well. You didn't win too many people too much money.
Again, I'm gonna say it again. Bet responsibly. We give our takes and our opinions, so we are entitled to our own opinions. Don't come back here. Oh, we can be like, ugh. You don't have to listen to us. You can do. This is what I always tell people: trust the gut. Even if there may not be anything, dude. Like if you got a feeling, dude. Like sometimes I call it like I feel it on my toes, but like
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Sometimes you get that feeling, you got to ride with it.
All right. So, Laurel, before we start this segment, are you comfortable picking based on money line and over unders for total runs?
No, sorry.
Okay, no problem. All right. So, Ryan, this is the segment for you and me.
Let's do it.
First off, we got the Cardinals and the White Sox. Odds
Ugh.
for St. Louis are -110, over under 8.5 runs. It's Jordan Montgomery versus Dylan Cease.
I'm gonna go the White Sox, and I'm gonna go for one reason. The White Sox have a lot of good righty bats, right? Obviously, Luis Robert, Tim Anderson, they got a lot of good righties against Jordan Montgomery, a lefty. Who, Maddie, we've seen a lot of Jordan Montgomery, right?
Yes, we have.
He is the definition of like a 5 to 6 inning, 3 to 4 run type of guy. That is like he is just a bottom which is average. He's not good. He's not bad. He's just average. We've seen that his whole Yankee tenure, and like I just feel like it's gonna be one of those Montgomery starts where it's 5 innings, 4 runs, 8 hits. Like it's gonna be one of those, and I think the White Sox are gonna pull it out. I think they're gonna cover the plus. What is it?
It's -110 St. Louis.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna take the White Sox here as underdogs.
Now, are you gonna go over or under 8.5 runs?
I'll go over because I got faith in my guys, Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt. I think they're gonna produce a little bit something for the Cardinals, but I'm gonna go over 8.5.
These are two teams that aren't exactly playing well. I mean, they're both below 500, but their offenses are good. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
If they had better pitching, then maybe I would go under, but I gotta go with the over. And I'm probably gonna take the White Sox +110 because that's just a very, very enticing. Like the Cardinals are not great. Like they have, which is surprising because they've been very, very good for a long time. And this is Adam Wainwright's last season. You'd expect them to play with a little bit more heart, but it hasn't been that way. So I'm gonna go Chicago +110 and the over 8.5. All right. Next up, we have a pivotal game right here in a pivotal series. The Cincinnati Reds versus the Milwaukee Brewers. Start a 3-game set tonight. Reds are up 2 games in the division. Reds -115, over under 7.5 runs. What do you got, Ryan?
It's the Reds, dude. This guy, Ellie De La Cruz, man. This is a man on a mission. And then obviously they got the guy Joey Votto, who is like a living, breathing antique at this point, right? That guy's like a fossil, right? But man's still producing. He hit 2 home runs his first day back. I mean, the Reds have also been on an 8-2 run over their last 10 games. They have been pitching. They have been just playing out of their minds recently. And Maddie, do you remember the guy Andrew Abbott that we doubted him last time?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to doubt him again. Obviously, the Brewers got one of their better starters in Corbin Burns, but this year he has not actually had as good of a year as last year. And I think obviously he's got a 4-year, he's got 96 strikeouts, right? But he's also got a lot of innings pitched. But dude, the Reds, dude, they're just an exciting team, and
yes,
I just think I'm gonna ride with them. I'm gonna ride with the Reds. I think I'm gonna.
The over's getting you.
I think I'm gonna go under. I think.
What is
it? What's the line?
7.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under. I don't like the under, but I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it.
The fact that the Reds are on the road in this series could be a little bit of a problem for them, although Ellie De La Cruz is just a sensation to watch. And ever since he debuted about a month ago, this Reds team has just been fantastic. It's not just Ellie De La Cruz. Joey Votto found the fountain of youth when he came back from injury. Jonathan India has been playing really well. I'm not really a big fan of the pitching matchup. I think Corbin Burns is a better starter than Andrew Abbott, but if I had to guess, I would probably go with the Brewers +115. I'd probably take the under in that one. I'd take under 7.5. All right. Next up, we got the Baltimore Orioles at the Minnesota Twins. Twins minus 150, over under 8.5.
Twins minus 150? Sheesh.
Yes. Can't believe
Why?
that, huh?
Why?
They're terrible.
They're the definition, Maddie. And I know the Orioles have been on a little bit of a skid. I mean, they just won the last two against the Yankees, but what are the Yankees doing right now? I mean, nothing. But like the Twins, really? They're like the New Orleans Saints in their own division, or like the Jacksonville Jets. Like they're in a terrible division, dude. Like
Yeah.
they're 2 games above 500, Maddie, and are in first. They would be in last in every other division. Just about. I mean, the AL East, every other team outside the Red Sox is in first in that division.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, damn. They're not great. And the Orioles, Maddie, we just got first-hand experience. Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, they're good. Ryan O'Hearn, they're a good team.
Yeah.
And obviously they got now Aaron Hicks, apparently now the best center fielder in baseball now, because the Yankees let him go, and that's just what happens. But whatever.
Yeah.
But I got the Baltimore Orioles. They got probably 2 of the best relievers in the game in Yunior Cano, and they got probably the best closer in the game in Felix Bautista. So I'm probably going to be rocking with the Orioles, unfortunately, for the Yankees' sake, and then I'm going to go over for the runs.
We know this Orioles team can put up runs. I'm shocked that the Twins are favored in this game minus 150. That's crazy.
That's insane. That's insane.
Minus 150. You bet $100 to win 150 if the Twins win this game.
That's insane.
That's nuts.
No. You got to bet 150 to win 100.
Bet 150 to win 100. That's nuts.
That's insane.
Orioles, I'll take the plus 150, and as far as the over-under goes, I'll go with the over. The Mariners and the Astros. The Mariners are trying to close out the series with a win over the Astros. Mariners minus 110 in Houston, over under 7.5. Luis Castillo on the mound for the Mariners tonight, who's not having the best season.
What's the money line? Said?
The money line is Mariners minus 110.
I'm gonna go with that because the Astros, dude, have had a lot of injuries. Obviously, we just saw Jose Altuve go down. Jordan Alvarez has been down. So it's really kind of just a Kyle Tucker show right now for Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he's going to do it, dude, because as much as Luis Castillo is having a down year, guys like him, right, he is an ace, right, in baseball. And when you talk about guys like this, they can click it on at any point and just have a dominant night. And over the last couple starts, for Luis Castillo, over his last 3 starts, he hasn't been that kind of guy recently. But I do think he's going to snap back into it, and I do think this Astros lineup is not as good as it usually is or in past years. So I do think the Mariners are going to get a little bit of a break, even though offensively they really aren't doing much either. But I don't know. I think the Mariners are going to close it out tonight. I think this is a must-win game for them in terms of just trying to get into the All-Star break hot.
Yeah, I agree with you on both counts. I like the Mariners in this one. The injuries are piling up for Houston. They got Hunter Brown on the mound. As far as the over-under is concerned, I'm going to go under because the Astros...
What is the total, sorry?
7.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go under too.
I'm going to go under 7.5. I'm not really a big fan of the Astros offense without Altuve, without Alvarez. They can't score a lot of runs with that. They have to rely on their pitching in order to do that, in order to win ball games. So I'm going to go with the Mariners minus 110. I'm going to go with the under. Next, we got the Mets and the Padres. This is the 10 o'clock slate, West Coast style. Padres minus 125, and the over-under is 8. It's Verlander versus Darvish.
I'm sorry, Met fans. I'm going to Padres. Because, Maddie, when I watched them do the Shohei Ohtani over the weekend or on Tuesday, that was pretty insane. And
yeah, it's impressive.
And we talk about all these guys having bad years. Dude, the Padres are too good to be this bad. I'm sorry, they're too good. Their lineup is too stacked. Fernando Tatis, Juan Soto, Manny Machado, Jake Cronenworth, Xander Bogaerts, Hassan Kim. They are insanely stacked. And then pitching wise, we talk about guys having down years. Their whole staff's having down years. Blake Snell, Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish, they're all having down years. And then I know the last time that the Padres played the Mets was in the postseason last year. Sorry, Met fans, bringing that up to you.
Hell yeah.
But their starters dominated. Yu Darvish dominated. Joe Musgrove dominated. And, dude, I just think in Petco Park in San Diego on the West Coast, I don't know, dude. I think this might be another Justin Verlander stinker of a start tonight. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it, and I don't know if these rookies in Alvarez and Beatty are going to have what it takes to go up against a guy like Yu Darvish, who throws like 9 or 10 pitches. That guy has like 5 splitters. That guy has like that guy throws like 5 that guy has like 9 pitches. I've seen. It's insane. So if Yu Darvish is on tonight, I'm going to take the Padres. And then what's the over under?
8 flat.
Ooh, 8 flat. I'm going over.
Over.
Yeah.
Mets
bullpen sucks.
Yeah, they do.
So
no Edwin Diaz is killing them.
So does the Padres, though, outside of whatever the hell his name is. Their closer. What's his name? I forget his name. Josh Hader.
Yeah.
Outside of him, their
staff is not that good. The whole staff is not great. This is a really big opportunity for both these teams to at least get themselves back in the hunt for playoff spots before the All-Star break. And honestly, both these teams need it, but I think the Padres need it more because they are just too talented. The Mets, Steve Cohen's got to be rolling in his office right now. The fact that he spent so much money over the offseason and he's not getting any of it in return right now. Verlander's at 40 years old. I'd expected him to have a down season, especially because he pitched so well in the playoffs and got the monkey off his back. Oh, my God. Minus 125. I got to take the Padres in this one. I agree with that. Over under 8. That's a tough one. I don't like it when they have flat over-unders.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it?
I'm going to go under because I like the bullpen for the Padres a little bit against this Mets team that just can't hit too well. So I'm going to go with the under. Next up, Pirates Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks minus 200. And then the over-under 8.5 runs total. Ryan, what do you got?
The Pirates were very good.
and then we're not very good really quick.
So they scare me.
But I'm going to take the Diamondbacks since they do have the race on the mound and Zach Gallen, who is having a very, very good year this year. And obviously with no Corbin Carroll, unfortunately, I still think that the Diamondbacks are a better team
than them. I think, especially in Arizona today,
I think that they're going to be able to edge out the Pirates. And what is the over-under?
8.5.
Under.
Yeah, definite under for me too. And the Diamondbacks need to get some positive mojo going after that Mets series. Getting swept at home by the Mets, not good at all. So this Pirates team, they still don't have O'Neal Cruz. Their offense is lackluster in Pittsburgh. I really like the Diamondbacks in this one, despite Corbin Carroll being out. And yes, they had their ace Zach Gallen on the mound, which is helpful. I gotta take the Diamondbacks minus 200. Now I'm gonna go under 8.5. All right, this is Loro's game. Angels and Dodgers. Dodgers minus 175. Over under 9 runs flat. We got Griffin Canning for the Angels and Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers.
I think the Dodgers win. I think they start off this series on a good note, but I also think they'll sweep this series because the Angels are shorthanded right now, and you're only going to see Shohei Ohtani in the lineup.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, what do you think about the numbers here?
Yeah. I think the Dodgers are going to win. I'm just debating, do I go 9 runs? That's a lot of runs.
A lot of runs.
It is, but Ohtani is hitting, so there's always when that guy's hitting, dude, there's always a chance. There is always a chance. Oh, you know what? Screw it. Over. Oh, I don't
over 9 runs.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because the Dodgers can score.
Yeah.
And I think you might get 9 runs out of the Dodgers. Period.
That's what I'm thinking, right?
Because the Angels, Griffin Canning, against Tony Gonsolin.
Shohei's got to get me at least 2. Shohei's got to hit at least a home run.
Well, we'll have to see about that. So I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over, and I'm going to take the Dodgers minus 175. And last but certainly not least, Rockies and Giants. Giants minus 165. Over under 8 runs flat. Austin Gomber versus Ross Stripling.
The Giants. I mean, the Rockies are another. Ugh, they're not great. And the Giants, I feel like are a sneaky 47-40. Like I don't feel like they're that good, but like at the same time, I don't feel like the Yankees are that good either. So like, I don't know. Like I definitely do think the Giants are going to win. What is the over under for that?
8 runs.
That to me is definitely an under. Because again, I think they're like I feel like they're a fraud, like 47-4. Like I feel like they're fake. They're not that good. I don't think.
Yeah. All right. Easy one. Giants minus 165. Under 8 runs. And now, if this game was in Colorado, you know where I'd go with this as far as over/under is concerned. I'd go over. If this was in Colorado and not San Francisco, I'd go with the over.
Maddie,
9 times out of 10.
You and your dad with your Denver crush. We get it. Your guys' fascination for Denver, Colorado. We get it.
I gotta go there sometime. All right, so I gotta go there sometime. All right. Anyway, no Siriani Says Sports next week. We got the Staten Island Senior Games in the Mid-Island Little League Complex on Friday, July 14th, 7 p.m. Doors open at 6 p.m. The whole crew will be here. It'll be my staff. It'll be me, James Hartman, Julio Bianchi. We'll get Laurel virtually. And then we also got the cast from
Saturday, right?
What?
I'm doing the Saturday game with you.
Yeah. So anyway, we got the whole staff going on Friday, next Friday, so that will be happening. And then we also got the cast of Talking Baseball with Sal Angeletti will also be helping me out this year, as Big D will not be around because he'll be in a place called Greece. Not Grease Lightning, Greece. But anyway, Siriani Says Sports will not be on this Friday. Next Friday, excuse me. But for the time being, that's all we have. But Siriani Says Sports is sponsored by the following. As soon as I could pull up the thing here. Okay. There we go. All right, let's get the sponsors up here. DAS Technology Consulting, simplifying technology. Valix Enterprises, building projects for success. Jag1 Physical Therapy, official therapy provider for the teams you love. The Grace Foundation of New York, support, empower, educate, enhance. Outback Steakhouse in Middletown, Aussie rules. The Integrated Planning Group, client-focused, advice-driven. And by Rocco's Original Italian Ices, a sweet summertime treat all year around. So, gentlemen, it's been fun. But next week we won't be around because we got a lot of stuff going on with the Grace Foundation and all that stuff. I have a big meeting with Grace tomorrow in regards to the game, so that will be something to look forward to. And I'll talk to Laura about about what happened at the meeting afterwards. But anyway, from Ryan Barron Jr., Laura Antonio, I'm Matt Siriani. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in tonight. I greatly appreciate your support. It means a lot. Take care. Enjoy your Friday night. Stay responsible, and of course, peace out.
Have a great night, everyone.